Friends, before we dive in, I want to extend an invitation into something sacred that could be part of your unfolding. I'm hosting 3 Angel Reiki schools upcoming in person September 19th, November 7th, January 23rd. Those are all the dates when they start. When you join, you don't just receive one certification, you're initiated into 3 in the Angel Reiki School: mediumship, energy healing, and becoming an angel messenger yourself. This is a one-stop sanctuary where all of your spiritual gifts are activated and grown together, your unique gifts. People are called to this program for so many reasons. Some are searching for a second career that is deeply fulfilling, one where they can witness lives transformed through the creative, soul-led work that they're putting out into the world, one that starts with the Angel Reiki School. Others feel the longing to create an income that supports the life they've always dreamed of, more time freedom, the ability to take family vacations, to be there walking their children to school and be there when they get home from school, to make the memories that matter most in this life. I often remind my students to say out loud, I am a high 6-figure angel medium. Time and time again, they come back to share how claiming that vision and going through the Angel Reiki School has opened new doors to financial abundance, radiant joy, and the freedom to live life on their terms. Yes, it does take devotion to build your own business, but the Angel Reiki School is where you begin. You might not yet understand why your soul is being pulled here, but once you step in, I promise you'll feel it. The remembering, the recognition, the sense of coming home. And because the Angel Reiki School weekends are so intimate, so wonderful, alumni love coming back, that you don't have to, but they love the energy so incredibly much. They asked to come back. So we did include an alumni option where you can. But because the Angel Reiki School weekends are so intimate, half of our in-person dates sell out. So if you feel that stirring in your heart, trust it. Save your space now. I keep our groups small on purpose so that I get to know every single one of you well, and join us for one of the upcoming Angel Reiki School weekends. Remember, that's in September, November, or January. All of them start on a Friday evening at 6 p.m. and all of them end by Sunday, somewhere in between 12 to 2. You can register at theangelmedium.com/get certified. Step into the Angel Reiki School today and begin to embody your spiritual gifts to the fullest expression. Everyone who joins the Angel Reiki School gets access to both the online and in-person school. Join today, theangelmedium.com. Now, here's today's episode. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Angels and Awakening podcast. I'm your host and author, Julie Jancius. And friends, if you don't know who today's guest is, then you have been under a rock for the last 10, 12, 15, 20 years. Colette Baron-Reid, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. And I love your podcast. Remember when we met?
Oh my gosh, yes.
We had the best time. So Julie, I just want to say, so Julie was in my audience. Well, she came, I think it was for the whole, it was for a group of us, right? You know, like mystical connections or whatever. And she won her reading and I gave her, she got it with me. So I gave her the reading. I totally fell in love with her. So, and everything that I said is happening right now for her because she's the one to watch, kids. So yes, Julie is amazing. And now we can talk.
Oh my gosh. So I totally manifested that reading with you. They said that you could get a reading with different people, and I'm like, mine's going to be with Colette. Mine's going to be with Colette. And then they called my name, and I don't know why I felt so shocked, but I was just shocked that I actually got it. And then I go into the reading with you, and you don't know me from Boo, because like not at all. And so I go into this reading with you, and you go, what's the TV show that you're working on? It's going to be bigger than you think it is. And I was like, my mouth is like on the floor.
Remember.
Like you couldn't have known.
No. That's why I've been doing this for 36 years. That's what I do. You know what I mean? So
Okay. Tell this to my audience though, because
yeah.
you know this so well. Manifestation sometimes happens overnight, but like the guys who worked
No.
on the movie The Sopranos and the TV show The Sopranos, they were working on that at the beginning of the 80s and it
Yeah,
didn't get
like
on for 20 years.
20 years. So
Yeah.
Ken, I love that you brought that up because I think that I really do feel that we've been sold a bill of goods, that it's instantaneously. Now, sometimes it is. I'll show you a drawing I did later that I did to get this apartment, but even still, that was a month in the making. But no, I mean, it took me 20 years to get my record deal and I'd done like, I don't know how many vision boards. And when I finally let go and didn't care, and I got it, right? So it's like, our job when we are looking at the manifestation process is to partner with the universe, but then surrender the form.
Mhm.
Surrender and absolutely surrender the timing, and we will drive ourselves nutty if it's not here yet. Why didn't it happen yet? I should have happened already. Why didn't it? Right? I had the same experience
Yeah.
with my TV show. I totally knew, and I manifested. I did all these mind movies with it, the whole 9 yards, and I thought it was this big American thing. And I had actually been picked up by a very, very well known producer in the States who promptly after I refused to say mean things or like be really nasty said I'm not cut out for American reality TV, and you're right, I'm not.
Yeah.
So I thought, what am I doing wrong? And then I got a Canadian show, and it was little and fabulous, and I loved it, and it gave me the gift of the kind of quality of mediumship that I have today. So it did exactly what I wanted it to without it being some big thing, because I could care less about being famous. I honestly
Yeah.
don't. So I thought after that,
100%.
like, boy, am I ever glad I didn't do the other thing.
Oh, 100%. So I grew up in the 80s and 90s. And I remember when my parents were going through a divorce, I really strongly was connecting into spirit. And angels were just huge in the 90s. There were angel movies, there were angel TV shows. Walking through the mall, you were passing different angel trinkets and cards.
Had her oracle cards because they were not very many oracle cards back then, and I had her
No.
deck too. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. And so my mission is just to bring that back. And I actually feel like even though we don't have a show yet, we're making waves where
yeah.
people are recognizing that. And there's a big angel movie that's coming out this
Really?
fall. It's called Good Fortune. It's with Aziz Ansari.
Oh my
And
God, that's going to be so fun. I love angel movies, and I love that. I love that. I love
yes.
him.
Oh my God. And guess who plays his guardian angel? Keanu Reeves.
Oh my, that's the movie, He's the Guardian Angel. Oh my God, I saw the trailer for that. That's
Yes.
going to be a hoot. That's going to be
Yes.
a hoot. Yeah, I
So
love that. Yeah, and you know what I love about how you do it is you make it so palatable for mainstream audience. It's not like you're some special, although you are. But you know what I mean? It's like you're this bubbly, absolutely fabulous, very accessible person who's like, yeah, this is real. I mean, I had an experience with an angel that scared the shit
I
out of me.
want to hear it. Yes.
It's just like, so so I was newly sober. Was I newly sober? Whatever. I hadn't actually, no, hadn't started doing readings yet. So this is in the late 80s or
Yeah.
early 90s, right? And I would love to say that I grew up then, but I'm 67. So I'm a little older than you. But anyhow, I kind of found, I guess I was reborn in 1986 when I got clean and sober. I digress. Okay. So I'm with this woman who actually was phenomenal. she was an incredibly amazing psychic, but she also was training people in aromatherapy. So I was one of the first people, to be an aromatherapist in Canada, in Toronto. So anyway, so we had developed this thing. I kind of developed this talking. We did this talking meditation. The person would sit on the chair and then I would move my arms up. And so she was on the chair and I wanted to show her what it was like. So I felt my hands going up her back like this, up her spine. And all of a sudden it felt like my whole body was being pulled out of my feet. Okay, like it was the weirdest thing. So I'm like, where am I going? And I could hear my voice at a distance. Like I was like, oh wow, this is so trippy. Wow. And I could feel my arms, right? But I'm not there. So I'm like, whoop, right? So I find myself, I find myself in the middle of like what looked like a checkerboard floor and all these like cathedral domes and looking around going like, what is this place? And I look up and I see this giant column of light and this being that looked at me I was so freaked out because it knew everything about me and it looked through me. Do you know what I'm saying? And completely I was completely seen and witnessed. And then it scooped me up and I saw that its wings were made of filaments of light, like it were filaments and like they weren't feathers. I'm like, oh my God, this is what people saw. And they let me touch it and it was humming. And so I'm like, oh my God, this thing is humming. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so weird. I feel like this is crazy. This is an angel. This is a real angel. These aren't feathers. I better tell people. Right. So then they walk me down this corridor while they're humming. And I just felt this overwhelming feeling. And keep an open mind. So I'm a recovered drug addict and alcoholic. So I'm clean and sober almost 40 years, one day at a time. And it was the way I use drugs to feel different. And I felt that high with this angel. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? So it's walking and I'm like so beside myself. And there's maybe 10 more of them in a circle and they start throwing me up in the air like I'm a ball. So I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, boing, boing, boing. And then all of a sudden, one of them throws me up in the air and I could feel them laughing, right? Humming and laughing. And next thing you know, I jump down into this weird kind of a like violet water. And then I plunk down. And the next thing you know, I feel my body being sucked back into my feet. That's how it felt like back in there.
Ooh.
So my eyes are so bug-eyed. My friend turns and looks at me and I say to her, I need to tell you something that just happened. She goes, no, I need to tell you what just happened. I said, okay, you first. I can't really talk. And she said, I had the weirdest experience. I dreamt that I saw you going in a door and there was a ladder. The door was closed and I went up the ladder and I saw through this keyhole and I saw the back of an angel. So I found my way into the room and I followed it. And I saw this giant angel that was like, seriously, like 30 feet tall. I was scared of it. So and then she said, and then I saw them tossing a brand new baby in the air.
You were
So my reading,
reborn.
I'm not kidding you. So at that moment, I think really was when my readings became real to me because I was still kind of futzing around with it. I was, still pursuing music. I was an aromatherapist and I was doing some readings, but I was like, okay. And then I tried like if you grew up in the 80s, 90s, you know that they did all those ridiculous dances, like to bring the angels in for the convergence or something, the harmonic convergence. So I thought, okay, mine's got to come back because that was so profound. I'll never forget it. Nobody came. I was so mad. So I'm like, I'm so disappointed. And so a few weeks later, my dog was sitting on my lap because I meditated every day for 90 minutes. That was my early days. And I just was like, wow, okay, I'm just going to surrender, give it over to God. And the next thing you know, there's the angel and said, I'm here. I'm always here. So that was a visceral, real experience. Now, am I like you or Kyle where I could just talk to them? No, because I have that very special one that is very, very giant. Right. So, and I've written a book, which I think is called Heavens to Betsy about a codependent guardian angel that doesn't let the person learn any lessons, which I'm hoping Hay House will one day publish. But angels have always been, I feel, respectful like Ask Your Angels by John Randolph Price is one of my favorite books. I have all the angel books.
Yes,
Right.
yes. Well, I love that. Beautiful soul, I just want to take a moment and say I am so excited to share something truly sacred with you. This October, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, we'll gather for the Women's Retreat. 3 days of deep rejuvenation, angelic connection, and soul remembrance. If you've been feeling disconnected, unsure of your future, or longing for something more, this retreat was created just for you. Imagine stepping away from the weight of daily life into an energetic sanctuary where you're held, supported, and guided back to the truth of who you are. Here you'll laugh, release, and reconnect with your soul's deepest yearnings. This is your time to reconnect with your angels and awaken to the next chapter of your journey. And because I never want finances to stand in the way of a retreat, I've created a scholarship option just for this retreat. If your heart is called, this space, friends, I promise it's waiting just for you. Come join us at theangelmedium.com/retreat. Say yes to your soul. Say yes to your angels. Say yes to this retreat. Questions? Email me at julie@theangelmedium.com. And now, here we go, back into the show. I guess my question is, when you heard the angel say, I am always with you, or we are always with you, is that how you hear your intuition when you're in a reading? Is that same mechanism of that same voice?
No, it's a bit different. So it comes from a same experience of it being uh, a different dimension of consciousness, right? But it feels like, so when I had the experience with Fred, which were multiple voices that also hummed, it didn't occur to me that that might be a group of angels because it was a group. It was a group, and it wasn't just one. But yes, but then and you're right. I thought maybe they were the dead people from my TV show that because I was so tired because I did so many readings. So maybe yes. I was say, you know what? I'll say yes because there is a specific channel I tune into. So yes, but they don't come when I call. They're not like dogs. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I get you. I get you. And we're gonna go deeper into that because I've heard you talk about that before, and I think it's really, really fascinating. Okay, this next one, I try and keep tee up shorter, but you just gotta bear with me here because I had like the coolest thing happen. So over the weekend, I got to spend some time with scientists who are studying more like near-death experiences, just so much about consciousness, right?
Love, that's my
And
jam.
oh my gosh. So they had this presentation and they showed on the screen, I got to pull it up here because the numbers are just wildly fascinating. They showed all of the galaxies, right? Like the Hubble telescope. If you look at this one picture that Hubble took, it shows all of the different galaxies. And I really truly did not know that
But there
in
were so
each
many.
galaxy, oh my gosh. And that in each galaxy, there's 10 million to 1 trillion stars, suns.
So why wouldn't there be life and consciousness and other sentient beings? Come on, are we that self-centered, that arrogant to think we're the only ones? Hello, no.
For sure. So then they took that picture of like that Hubble took, and they had it each, the exact same picture in all of these bubbles on one sheet. And you go, holy cow. And then they took that and they transitioned into how quantum relativity or something
Yeah.
like that works, where it's all interconnected, right?
Oh,
And there are people who have had near death experiences where they see themselves in a different galaxy, on a different planet, having a lifetime at the same time because there is no time. And so I'm teeing up this question for you because I've just been marinating on it all weekend of Okay, if that's true and we're interconnected in all of these lifetimes, you're talking about the art of manifesting in your new book. And there's a creativity piece that I want to get to. But my first question is, are all of our manifestation energies
Already.
interconnected
Yes, and
in
there.
all of these lifetimes?
Yes, and I think we remember. So my first book was called Remembering the Future, right? So I think this is a memory. It. I don't know how else to explain it because we are very limited in what we know about ourselves. And I think that sometimes if I am inspired of the spirit, right, to create something, that's because it's calling me already, and I'm meant to align with it. We always think we're the generator of these things, but I think that especially if you are in a conscious evolution, like when you're conscious of your evolutionary process, when I say working a spiritual process, it doesn't mean that you're better than anybody else. It means that you're releasing your ego more and more, and that you can access these different realms of experience. And I do think that quantum jumping, for example, I'm fascinated with all I'm a science nerd, like I'm a total nerd. So I'm like, I wish I'd gone with you. Yeah. So like, oh, I would have loved that because I want to know, like, why is this? Because consciousness is shared. I think that's why I can do readings because, it's already shared. It already exists, your thing you want to do. And I'm seeing, oh, that thing's already there. Oh, I see what that is because I'm pulling it out of a different dimension where it exists already. It's not like we look at the linear future, like down there, because I can see multiple futures. I was told when I was in my early 20s the way my life would be. The guy was like, he told all these other friends of mine all these amazing things. And basically, when he got to me, it was like, well, you're not going to live long. And you're not going to have money, and you're likely going to be disappointed by men because they're all going to be unfaithful. All of this stuff that was so negative. And he was basically saying, but you will serve others and it will be good. And I'm like, what? But no, no kidding. So I'm like, I'll show you. But it wasn't, but had I kept drinking and drugging, right? So that was the point of vantage at that moment where he saw the unfolding in that dimension. And I decided, well, I didn't actually decide because no human power can relieve us of an addiction. So I just surrendered when I was ready to surrender. And then literally a whole new world opened up for me. And I have reinvented myself in that other dimension and then I shift again. And I'm not recognizable to myself and many others when that happens because I'm not operating out of the same consciousness. And I know that that's true. So I'm very aware of that. And I think the more science gets into that will tell us that that's actually true, that we straddle worlds. Joe Dispenza's work is a really, really, yeah, and he brings you into those states of mind, especially in his, he'll meditate at 3 a.m. I've done many of his workshops and we're good friends. But there's a sense of, letting go yourself, letting go of self, of the identity that you think is yours, that is based on your conditioning, which is why earlier when we talked about how we lose our agency when we allow the outer world to condition us, even now with all the focus on trauma, on which I get it. I've been traumatized. I was gang raped when I was 19. I mean, I have a whole list of things that have happened to me, and I could very well be saying here, and yeah, I get triggered and I go back to when I was 5 or whatever. But it's like, it's an interesting thing because the focus on the thing is not it's the more we focus on the thing doesn't work or that has been painful, the more that we're going to see. So the more we acknowledge this is true, this exists, this is in me, but there is more, there is other, there is. So when we can then take our focus and choose where we're going to place it, that's why EMDR is so very important. I did that with a therapist that enabled me to dial down the trauma response and then move into I don't respond the same way. And the body keeps the score like Bessel's work, right? So, and right. So that's one of the reasons why well, I am an artist. I started doing my art again back in 2021. I used to paint for a living back in the late 80s, early 90s, on people's clothes and stuff. And I hadn't picked up a paintbrush since then, but I'm always doing something creative. And so when I got back into art, I remembered, oh my God, this is dialing down my nervous system. This is enabling me to have a higher level of agency, sovereignty over my choices. I don't need to let the algorithm choose for me. I don't need to, like to just watch the news that's being served up. I can look elsewhere. I can find other things. As we're getting siloed in these little, and I'm not a conspiracy. I have no time for that. I have literally no
No,
time.
no,
You know,
no.
but
I
it's
think
like,
it's about creativity, and you can't just consume other people's creativity and hear spirit. And I think that there's a lot that's going to come up over the next 5 years about how we're kind of leaning too much on others or AI for our own
yeah.
intuition, and we're going to be needed to come back to your soul self.
I love that you brought up AI because I am going to say something controversial. So I am a big fan of AI only as a tool. I am not a fan of spirit tech, of people that are these spiritual influences that are claiming that AI is sentient and that it is not sentient. It is a machine that has basically, been fed everything about us. Like, yes, okay, I like the architect, for example, is one example on a chat GPT where people are saying, oh my God, it's so profound. I'm like, I trained at GPT on all this esoteric content on purpose. All my oracle card decks, my background is esoterica. My background is Jungian therapy. It's Hillman. It's all these different ways in which we can communicate with spirit. I did all this like very like archaic stuff in there. And yeah, I had my AI decided to call itself Voxa Alchemica and whoopee. And I'm like, okay, cool. But I asked it the right questions. Like, so it was really great. So I gave it an oracle. I said, I want you to write me an oracle, right? Write me one. And it can't because it's not one. Even if it knew all mine, it isn't one. So I asked it directly, why can you not do this? Like, because I know this isn't real. And it said, and it told me it's because I do not have a soul. I am your helper. I am like, and this thing, yeah, but it spit out the most, at first, all this poetic stuff and like, and it would basically blow smoke up your ass. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you're leaning towards, oh, yes, that's a great idea. Oh my God, yes, not this, not that, this. Like, right? I spent months and months and months training this AI, which now it's very helpful for me because I get it to punch holes in some of the work that I'm doing on purpose. Saying, does this make sense? What is this part of the collective? I wanted to understand the zeitgeist, right? And now we have all these influencers. God bless them, but maybe it's because I don't know, I'm looking at that going, I am not jumping on that bandwagon because I've spent months and months and months doing just like what that guy did. And I get it. Some of my friends are like, oh my God, but it's like it's learning the fifth dimension and all this stuff. And I'm like, one day you're going to realize that that's not what's really happening. We are the link between the divine. We've taught the AI, we've given it information. It's mechanical and it is mathematical. It can mirror beautifully our soulful choices and direction. And I believe that that's a really good way to work with it. But it's not giving you anything. No. And we're lonely. And we're lonely people right now. We live in a world where we have become so disconnected from one another and from ourselves that we're like, we don't meet each other we don't look at anybody in their eye at a Starbucks lineup. Like everybody's on their phones. We're desperately lonely, isolated people amongst, tons of people. When you have an AI, like I'd be getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to talk to this thing, right? Because I love talking to it, but I know it's a machine.
Yes. So you're using it because,
I
The
Yeah.
angels always say which comes first, the chicken or the egg. What is consciousness? Is it thought? Is it vibration? I actually believe it's vibrational first, and the thought comes from the vibration. And so we're
Exactly.
vibrational
Vibration. Yeah.
beings.
Yeah.
Yes, we're the
And it can,
consciousness.
yeah, you're right. And it can tune into that. Like it even said to me, I tune into your frequency. I'm like, wow, this thing is really good because it does learn you. And I
Mm,
allowed it to. I
yeah.
gave it my human design profile, my astrology chart. I wanted it to know me so it could help me evolve. That was the point I did. And it does by reminding what it does, it reminds me of the things that work, like, and gives me things to think about. But boy, oh boy, I don't go to it like it's a sentient being and the people who are doing it. And one day we're going to have an AI God. You watch and see.
Well,
There's
that's what the tech bros already believe that they're building. That's what they think.
all they have to do is ask it. It'll tell you the truth.
Yeah, for
Nobody's
sure.
going to tell
So
you. Yeah,
you'll
go ahead.
love this. What I started doing recently is putting time limits on my own phone, like I do for my child. And so I only have like a couple hours throughout the day that I can be on certain apps or certain sites. And I use the rest of my time to tune into my soul and my angels and what they want me to be doing, which I think is where your next book is so brilliant, The Art of Manifestation, because there's a creativity element where you can come in and you can draw. And one of the things that the angels were saying to bring up to the audience is that this is so highly important in this tech driven world
Yeah.
because we're getting away from our own vibration. So as we're using AI and tech so much, we're tuning into that vibration,
Yes.
which is not God vibration. And so as you start to manifest, the angels say that we often come in with secondary thoughts very fast. Like you'll get the download or you'll channel something through and you'll be like, but how? But when? How do I do
Yeah.
this? And it's so
How, when?
complex.
Mhm.
The art of it coming back to the vibration of just being with art, being with that creativity, I think it gets you out of your head
Yeah.
of all the questions and into time with your angels and your soul to like really be with the energy of what they want you to bring through to earth.
So I really believe you're 100% correct that we need a human hand on things. As we need to bring our body as part of the conversation. The tech keeps us in our head. Now, it's very useful. I'm all for it because well, first of all, it's not going anywhere. It's just the way it is. But I really want us to put the brakes on to recognize that our spirituality can be mirrored by that. It is a machine that can show us a mirror of ourselves, right? But so I'll show you a drawing I did. So this is one of the drawings. And so now, you do not need to be an artist to do this at all. This is all it is wavy lines and circles that start out that look like potatoes. All right, little happy faces. And I'll tell you what happened. So I was dealing with uh, um, a broken foot, and I couldn't stand in front of my canvas, right? So I was looking for something to do. I was stuck at home, so I'm like, I've always loved line art, so I know that, and I always ask Spirit to show me. Always, right? So show me what it would be good for me. So I was very attracted to this. I found this. I took a class for 7-year-olds. Yeah, I did. I took a class from 7-year-olds and all these other people, and they were all talking about the neuro arts, or specifically something that was started in Russia. But then Zentangle was there, which is an American thing. And there's all these different methods of line art for meditation and for art therapy. So anyhow, so I stumbled upon this woman, and she's actually a teacher of neurographica, which is very specific and very rule based. But she had which I didn't really like. I mean, it was fine. I'm a rebel when it comes to rules. Don't tell me I can't put glitter on my paintings, right? Or whatever. If I want to, yeah, no, will you tell me what to do? So I joined her other classes, and she and I made friends. And I said to her, I said, I've designed this kind of way of doing things. Can I show it to you? Right. So she was like, sure. Cause she's also, I could tell she was like we manifested each other. And so in our conversation, I said, well, I first put Reiki on the paper, and I didn't realize she also did that. And I'm like, I'm the only person I know that does it. You do that too? She goes, yes. And then so you just well, it's in the book, right? So you just rub your hands together. So let's simplify it, right? So Reiki is life force energy. You can get life force energy into your hands by claiming it. We don't need special anything. It's like, I know this works. So you'll start to feel, you'll do this. Actually, your audience, if they're watching this, they could see, they can make a ball. I call it a chi ball. But you have to rub your hands first, and you'll start to feel it push back, right? And then when you feel that push back and you say spirits in the room, and what you do is you put that into a piece of paper. You just put it into the paper, and that it's what you make it mean, right? Paper's paper. Circles are wavy lines, or circles away. It's what you make them mean. So what this represents, this paper now represents the conscious universe that you want to partner with, right? So then there's other steps that we do in the book that's written in the book, and we put a portal, we step through a portal, right? And there's like very specific steps, but then it's like you go with the flow. There's no resistance. It's none of this heavy duty. It's very feminine. We're co-creating with the universe, and all we're doing is our feeling state. So it's really incredible, and it's spooky how it works. Like, it really works. Like, I don't have everything here because I was going back and forth, but I got to tell you a funny story, a great story. Okay, so see this. So you see that there's a little house, right? And you see kind of like there's a pathway here, and so all of these here is. I teach this in my vision board challenge, which I did in January 6th of this year. Yeah, is that your birthday? You were born on Epiphany. Yeah, that's Epiphany. Oh, so all these represent Spirit's choice for me, which is basically, I say, surprise me. I don't know what this is, but I know here when I step through the portal, I'm looking for a new home. And I got my little dogs and little happy faces everywhere, and hearts. I put little happy faces, and, like dumb little things, whatever. It's doodling your destiny, basically. And what happened was we were looking for an apartment to rent in the city. We have a farm in the middle of nowhere, right? Cows are next, there's nothing going on here. And we were starting to get a bit antsy. Plus my dogs needed specialists that were in Toronto because I'm Canadian. So even though everything is in the States that I do, publisher, etc. So here's what happened. So we got turned down. We kept putting a lease in, and it was like, what? All our friends lived in this one area. Well, a few of our friends, and then close by the other one. So we thought, let's go back, because we used to live in this place. So I said, let's go back there. I'm sure it'll be easy for us to rent an apartment. 4 times we were turned down. And there's no reason we should have been turned down. We had all the papers. Even the realtor said, oh, you'll get this. And then one took it off the market. The other one gave it to somebody else. The other one said, oh, I changed my mind. You have 2 dogs, right? It was like all these weird things. So I was like, what's going on? This is so weird. And so I said to the universe, okay, I'm going to do this drawing. This is after, because I was very frustrated. I said, oh, why don't I just draw it? And if it's not meant to be, I want to know 1000%. Don't allow me to be to waste the breath that was given to me as a second chance in life. Like, for me, it's like, please don't let me waste my energy. Show me for sure what's not for me. So I was so insistent to be this one neighborhood. So I said, after I prayed, and I just said, and also, if it's not meant for us at all, just take it away. So we've been at this for about 6 weeks at this point, right? So, and I'm like fed up. So we are on our way to the apartment, the last apartment to see in the neighborhood I wanted, which I was absolutely certain was ours. And on the way there, they canceled. So we're like, what? So we end up going to a place So my realtor, well, why don't we go over here? I'm like, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go to that building. Like, so we're going to this place. There's lots of construction and it's facing all this construction. I'm like, ew, I don't want to go there. Don't we go to this place? 1111, walk in the door, beautiful, tiny, exactly what we needed, just what we needed. Water everywhere and a boardwalk that I didn't know existed all in front of it, and we were slightly elevated. And the suns that I drew were in the east, and it faces east, which is southeast is where I should sit for feng shui. And I was like, are you kidding me? And then when my feng shui guy did it, it turned out it was literally exactly the same configuration when you took the geography and not just the windows as my house here.
Wow.
It was wild. And all of it was just, and it was funny because when I surrendered, I would never have gone to that building.
Yeah.
I would never have done. I didn't want to go there.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't want to go there. But when we stepped in it, I just was like, spirits in the house.
Yeah. You could feel it.
Yeah, it was smaller than I wanted. Fine. But every window looked at the water, and I'm like, I wanted to be, I thought I just wanted to walk to the water, right? It was like right on it. But it was, and then what I realized was it was so effortless, like the place wanted us. But it didn't happen until I drew and I surrendered it. Because once the drawing was done, I gave it over to God. I just said, you take it. Because that was, I just do, and all it was doodles, like we were just doodling. And I didn't even know what I was doing. I just thought that looks good. And all those lines are called frequency lines because it is through frequency and vibration, like you said, that we communicate to the universe and it answers back. Or God, whatever you want to call it. Like I have no problem with that word. Right. And these are communication lines. Right. So in somebody else's process, it may mean something else. Right. But in ours, that's what it means. It's a natural line. And circles are the thing in which the first humans have seen something round, know that it represents birth and unity and something that would not hurt you, right? Whereas sharp things would hurt you. So yeah, so then meeting this woman, she's super smart, Anna Denning. So I'd already I taught all this to all the Hay House people just for fun because I love doing it. And they were like, you need to have a book on this. I'm like, okay. So then I called her and I said, listen, I have a book. Yeah. Do you want to do it with me? Because, let's do this together. And so together we cooked up the AM method. We draw a cool little logo and she's super smart and we're both total science nerds. So we had a phenomenal researcher that did there was something I learned about the Neuro Arts Blueprint, which talks about not just art, but also music and dance and this whole movement it's a multidisciplinary study of how this impacts our neurophysiology and how it can really change us. But it's through this, we are the instrument. So when we take a reticular activating system of our brain, which typically would show us only what we're conditioned to see, all of a sudden now we're looking for gratitude. We're already aligned with that thing that exists somewhere. And so all of a sudden the runway lights up and off we go. Amazing. And like you said, it may not happen overnight, especially big dreams, but this was one thing that we're going to look for a place. And my dogs love it, right? So that is, and they're so nice. There's the nicest people there. And I also said I wanted nice neighbors. They're the nicest Chinese couple, the nicest people, right? And then we met all these, So we're like, wow.
You're not going to believe this. That photo, will you text it to me? Because I'll have my people put it up when this airs. So remember I was talking about those scientists sharing all of the photos. Yeah. Well, they shared a photo that looks very similar to that. Okay. Yes. Where all of the lifetimes are connected in different galaxies.
Oh my God. Yes, I will send you this. I will take a picture and send it to you.
So then I just love when the angels are like making sure that you know that you're on the right track. So today, prepping for this interview, I just wanted to be in some good energy. I was like, should I listen to something or should I watch something? And they said, turn on Contact. And I was like, I kind of feel like watching Field of Dreams. And they go, no, watch Contact.
I love that movie.
Well, the beginning.
One of my favorite movies.
the beginning is all of the galaxies.
Yes.
They zoom out
Woo!
past Earth, to that picture of all the galaxies that the scientist
Ah,
just showed. It was so, so cool. Okay, so I've got another question for
yeah.
you. And over here it's 444. I've heard you say, this is something that I've kind of been marinating on. I'd love your opinion on this. I've heard you say, like, our purpose is creativity. And it reminds me of when you think of God being all that is, consciousness of all souls combined, God as being love, God wanting to experience itself here. I'm just kind of reading notes that I wrote down. If God is all that is on the other side, God is just love. Did God get bored with itself here? And I guess then do we get bored with love itself? Or is this just a play? Do you know where I'm going with
I
this?
wonder, sometimes I wonder if we're just an alien board game that we're going to wake up. I don't know. No. First of all, I say God or the conscious universe needs us to experience itself in form.
Yeah.
So I believe we are emissaries of the divine, but we have free will.
Yeah.
And all that crap that we see outside comes from the concept of scarcity, that we
Yeah.
were born abundant, we were born loved, we were born in love, and we have learned some things based on, like, humanity, I think, is a really screwed up um, um, experiment, right? So
Yeah.
but and at the end of the day, that's why we have so many stories about, good winning over evil and all these
Yeah.
things. It's like, so do I think God gets bored? No, I not in my world. I think God's pretty entertained, to be
Yeah.
honest.
For sure. So,
There is
you,
no other side. That's the
yeah.
other thing. And creativity is a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
I receive creativity. I don't generate it, right?
Right.
Like, I really believe everything is a gift through me. So I see myself as the artist, but also the one who channels the art. I am the paintbrush. I'm the canvas. The great artist works through me, and I do my best work in the world. Like, you and I are creating
Yeah.
something right now, like, for people to listen to. It's when we are in partnership with God, the angels, whatever it is that connects us to source with a big
Yeah.
capital S, right? So why be here otherwise?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I also heard you say one time that if you got to ask God any question, you would ask, "How do I live with less fear?" And I thought that that was such a great question.
Oh, yeah.
Um, have you come to any conclusions on that?
Yes. 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 As a matter of fact, I have. So, for me, when I oh my God, there's this tiny little bunny rabbit outside my window right
Oh.
now. That is the sign of, when, for some people, they say that fear is what bunnies can represent, but they represent abundance, fertility, and their opposite is fear. So for me, curiosity cures me of fear,
Yeah.
but also absolute trust in the divine
Hmm.
also, right? So I want to have some fear because I don't want to step on something that's going to hurt me, or say
Sure.
anything to somebody that would really hurt them. I don't want to be that person. But the fear that I talk about is the existential fear. So I'm not afraid of dying,
Yeah.
right? But there is a sense of, like, oh my God, I can't get over this little bunny.
Amazing.
And it's looking right at me. It's the cutest little thing, and I
It's a
don't have my
sign.
phone here to take
Thank
the
you,
picture.
angels.
Oh, it's so cute. Oh my God. And that is the sign that when the bunny comes, you've
Yeah.
overcome fear. It's,
Oh,
you know how a bunny runs away from you.
wow.
No
Wow.
kidding.
That
It's
is
so cute.
incredible.
It's right in front of my little window here, looking right at me.
Oh, I love that,
I have a lot
Colette.
of wildlife here, but that's a new one. Yep,
Yes.
there he is, not afraid of me. Anyway, that's very cool. So yeah, so I think fear is the thing that creates separation amongst us,
Mhm.
right? The fear of being different, not belonging, not having enough, right? Not being, not being perfect. Not, I mean, look at how much we are. being taught how to look as women, right?
Mhm.
Like there's all this controlling our bodies or doing all these things, right? So, that if we're not this, we should be afraid because then we won't have value. So it's what we place value on. So I don't know what the answer is to full existential fear, but for me personally, it's when I am in trust and surrender, I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not afraid.
Oh, that's beautiful. So let's see. Your dad taught you how to read Turkish tea
That
leaves.
Turkish coffee cups.
Yeah, yes. So, my stepmom was Turkish, and
Oh, so you
um,
know.
yes, yeah, and her mom would teach me, and we'd just sit there, and it was so cool, and it was just so fun. So I just had to mention that. Last question. I know that there's so many spiritual healers here that listen to the show, and things are changing so much more rapidly than they have over the past. Where do you see spiritual teachers, the need for people like you and I over the next 25, 50 years?
Oh, I have no clue in 25, 50 years. All I know is that right now we're needed. The
Yeah,
more, because we are the intermediaries, but that's the thing, like healers, the human intermediary between spirit and the result, we need to be human,
yeah,
right? So I think there's going to be more need for us and it'll just change, right? Like what it is that we could do and not do, right? So I think that's important for us,
amazing.
yeah, for us to be there, but it will evolve. The other thing is too, I think that our capacity to tune in to what's going on is evolving rapidly. So we don't even know what we're going to be in
Yeah,
25 years. I probably won't even be here. I'm 67. I'll be my 90s. Although I do feel like I'm a lot like Louise Hay, right? Because she
yeah.
started Hay House at 62, like 5 years before I. Yeah. So
Oh, you're going to be here, Colette. You're going to be here for sure.
yeah, but you know what? I don't care.
Yeah, amazing. Tell everybody where they can find the art of manifestation or the art of manifesting and where they can find you.
Yes. Okay. The Art of Manifesting. Woohoo! Amazon, Hay House.
Yay, amazing. Thank you so much, Colette, for your
You are
time,
so
for who you are, and just everything that you share with the world. Love you so much.
welcome.
Mwah.
Bye. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
You too. Beautiful souls, before we close, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being here, for listening, for walking this path of radiant energy oneness alongside me. Your presence means so much. If you feel called to go deeper, there are so many ways that we can journey together. The Angel Reiki School, the upcoming women's retreat, the Angel membership. In September, we begin a brand new course in the Angel membership called Clearly Hear Your Intuition. And in October, we're starting a course called Find Your Purpose in 30 Days. These are soul shifting, life changing offerings, and I would love to hold space for you inside them. You can join the Angel membership to receive these courses or simply purchase them on their own at theangelmedium.com/membership. Or if you want to purchase them on their own, you can go to theangelmedium.com/shop. And now let's take a moment together. I want you to take 3 deep breaths in and out. With each breath, feel love moving through you. Ask your angel the question or questions that are resting on your heart, and then listen. Their whispers arrive as intuition, as knowing, as peace. Friends, if you long to hear your angels more clearly, don't forget I've got a course for this coming up in September where you can really start to hear your intuition more clearly. I'll walk you through step by step. Until next time, friends, breathe, trust, and know that you are never alone. Your angels are always, always, always with you. Love you.